Hello everybody, my name is Rob McCabe. Welcome to the YouTube channel and welcome to episode 4 of the 10x10 Practice Challenge. On today's episode, I am bringing my paradiddlediddles, a drum rudiment, back from the dead. There will be a small bit of commentary during the video, and then I'll talk more in detail about how I plan my practice sessions at the end, as well as giving my feedback on the video as a whole. Hope you enjoy. Whew, that day one was hard to watch. Certainly it's been a very long time since I've really been in good practice with rudiments, and in particular you can see that my left hand really struggles versus my right hand, and that's going to be a common theme throughout this video, and is something that I really need to focus on moving forward. You also might have noticed that when I was working on that left hand section there, was just during this day one, that I had a little flub where I had to restart. I don't want to edit those out of this video. All right, I don't want to edit these kind of things out of these videos. I want you to see that those happen in the practice room. Those happen when you're working on things, and they're part of the natural process towards getting better and improving. Anyway, let's continue. All right, so after day 3 there, something that I definitely noticed, and I wish I'd maybe noticed a little bit sooner, because this is an easily fixable thing, thankfully, but it's just that my sticks are really not focusing on a point on the pad. They're really flailing, and that's something that's very important. It's important to have really like I had a teacher that said, like, all right, pretend like you draw a little quarter on your practice pad or on your snare drum, and then focus on hitting the edges of that quarter. There is no shame in slowing down when you have found that you are taking something too fast for your own abilities. That's all I'll say about that. right, so it's obvious that there has been improvement. There's clear improvement. I'm still behind the beat, especially on the left hand. And I'll comment a little bit more on this later, but that's just, before we go into the final day here, that's just that's what I notice. I'm still behind the beat. So anyway, here we go. Final day. Alrighty then. Okay, so let's talk about how I planned this particular practice session, how I planned this 10-day period. So you may remember that I use something called SMART goals to plan out my practice sessions. SMART goals are laid out as follows. S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for attainable, R stands for relevant, and T stands for time-bound. Here's what I assigned to each of them based on what I wanted to accomplish for this particular set of 10 days. Specific, I wanted to increase my comfortable tempo from 70 BPM, both hands, to 100 BPM. Measurable, I will use a metronome to determine the speed at which I am playing. Attainable, I believe that this rudiment will come back to me quickly. This is not a new rudiment to me. This is something that just has not been used for a very long time. Relevant, this will help me improve my flexibility as a drummer. Time-bound, as always, 10 days, 10 minutes per day. That is what I am giving myself to practice this rudiment. Okay, so what is my assessment of this 10 by 10 practice challenge? I always like to grade myself on a 4-point scale from 0 to 4. 0 to 1 means I have not achieved the goal. 2 means I am approaching the goal. 3 means I have achieved the goal or I'm on level with the goal. 4 means that I have exceeded the goal. Going into a little bit more detail, here's what I would set for each level. 0 to 1 means that I am nowhere close to the goal tempo, falling behind, or I'm making constant mistakes. 2 means I'm able to play at or just behind tempo, but I still have a lot of tension or hesitation. 3 means that I play on tempo, I'm very rarely falling behind, no signs of struggle to keep up. Once again, I would consider 3 being that I have actually achieved the goal or I'm on level with where I need to be. 4 means that I'm virtually flawless, I'm ready to increase tempo and or add another level of complexity or musicality. 2 things to remember. The very first thing, these videos are not about mastery. These videos are all about showing you that if you take the time to plan out your practice sessions, you can improve with short practice sessions as long as you have a specific goal and you know exactly what you're trying to accomplish. The second thing to remember is that these points, what I give myself, where I grade myself, it is always in comparison to the goal. It is not in comparison to another standard. It's absolutely not in comparison to other people. All right, so for this particular goal, I'd give myself a 2. I feel like I was approaching where I wanted to be with it, but I definitely was falling behind, especially on the left hand. I still, even though there was lots of improvement, I still feel like, especially my left hand lead rudiments were, they were behind the beat. And also, if you look at my hands throughout the video, you can see that there's tension. You can see that there are just things that you really just don't want when you're playing a rudiment, when you're playing it in a relaxed manner. So where would I go with this? I would absolutely begin kind of working at those lower tempos to increase that level of relaxation, and then past that, I would start to incorporate different stroke types. I accented the first beat of each paradiddle-diddle, and something that is commonplace is to play with all legato strokes or practice using all legato strokes, or perhaps accent a different beat as well. All that said, let's take a look at day 1 versus day 10, just so you can see the comparison of what happens within 10 days. Alrighty, what do you think? Do you have any ideas for me? Anything that you think I should focus on, or anything that you think I should practice next? Feel free to leave that in the comments below. Also, feel free to create your own 10x10 practice challenge and tag me on Instagram at rwmccabemusic. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day.